Hey there, it's CityCast Las Vegas host Dayvid Figler. If you're new here, CityCast Las Vegas is the daily local podcast where we talk about all things Las Vegas. It's in your podcast feed every weekday by 6 a.m. Enjoy today's show.
Hey, y'all, it's your co-host, Sarah Lohman, dropping in real quick to let you know about something special. So tomorrow, we're dropping this really fun interview I did with Chef James Trees. If you've eaten in Las Vegas, you know who James Trees is, founder of Esther's and has so many others. But we've also decided to release an extended cut for members only in the members only feed. This conversation was just so amazing, we had a hard time chopping it down. So in the members feed, that's the only place you're going to hear the hot tea about what it was like when Trees worked with celebrity chefs like Michael Mina, Eric Ripert, and Gordon Ramsay. And which ones were mean and which ones were sweetie babies is probably going to surprise you. That's only in the members only feed, regular ep on the main feed. And yeah, if you're not a member yet and you want to catch this extended bonus episode, you want to go to membership.citycast.fm. It's the only place you can hear the full James Trees interview.
Unrivaled hospitality. That's always been Las Vegas's secret weapon. But recently, MGM Grand announced it was ending its Concierge program at 6 properties because of a growing demand for, quote, digital guest services, unquote. Today on CityCast Las Vegas, we're joined by Concierge veteran Tyra Bell to explain why this service is so vital to the brand of Las Vegas and what the MGM layoffs say about where we're headed. It's Wednesday, May 7th. I'm Dayvid Figler, and here's what Las Vegas is talking about. Hey, before we get into the conversation, I got to tell you, this is it. This is the final day of our spring membership campaign. So I want you to head over to membership.citycast.fm and become a CityCast Las Vegas member today. You'll be our neighbor. And here's what you get. So much. You get an awesome mug. You get a shout out on the podcast and in the newsletter. And, you know, more than anything, you get the satisfaction that you are keeping this show going at a time when local matters more than ever. You know, a friend of mine was introducing me to some friends of hers that I had not met, and she was telling them all about CityCast Las Vegas. She said, you know, the best thing about CityCast Las Vegas is that we're such a fractionalized place. People don't like to cross the strip. They live in Summerlin, and that's their identity, or they live in Henderson, and that's their identity. And what CityCast does is make us one Las Vegas, because we don't ignore any part of the valley, but we also identify those threads that we all have in common. It's so easy for someone who's new to our community to get up to speed by listening to the podcast. But for those of us who've been here a long time, we love hearing the voices of the people who make the city run. Membership.citycast.fm, that's your ticket to keeping all of that alive. Membership.citycast.fm. Tyra, you started as a concierge way back in 1998 and have become one of the best-known names in the industry as a professional, a teacher, and an advocate. So what was your reaction when you heard that the MGM was laying off its entire concierge staff at 6 properties?
Well, David, quite frankly, disenchanted, saddened.
Yeah.
Shocked. I mean, it's just such an out of touch decision, and it's devastated the community. I feel as though it's put tourism in Las Vegas in a negative light, and I don't think it'll last. Let's just hope and pray.
What makes it so out of touch?
The out of touch, I think the pendulum always swings in terms of technology. And we all realized this when COVID happened, right? And the need for human interaction and how it affects your mental health and so many other areas of your life, your overall happiness. And to say that AI can duplicate or replicate or replace a live person who is there for you, making eye contact, understanding you, reading the room, learning about you. It's impossible.
Yeah, and I couldn't agree more with you. You know, the pandemic really did emphasize the importance
Right.
of human interaction. But on the other hand, it also, you know, showed us that technology can be our friend. I want to talk more about that in a second, but I guess before we go on, Let's go into what a concierge actually does. What's
Sure.
the main responsibilities of a concierge at a property?
Well, first of all, I want to applaud you for knowing how to properly say the word concierge, because you said it perfectly, and so many people regretfully still don't. So thank you for that. We take it,
Oh, sure. I had time to practice though. So my producer is like, with the whip and the stick and the chair. So yeah.
I love it. I love it. Concierge, it's a profession. It's not just a job. I feel a concierge is a way of life. And our mantra is as long as it's legal, kind, and moral. So we are the experts in having guests come and saying, okay, what should I do? What should I experience? I have a child, I have an elderly parent, I have somebody with a disability, whatever it may be. Maybe we have international guests who don't speak the language. What show
Hmm.
can they see where they'll understand it? I mean, it's endless. Every scenario is different. Every family is different. Typically, all 4 and 5 star resort hotel properties have a concierge, especially if they're trying to achieve their, Forbes or AAA stars and diamonds, right? Stars or diamonds.
Hmm.
They have to have a concierge. It is required. And I feel as though we're a direct extension of what world class service is in this type of city. So to say lightly, we are the heart of the property for sure.
But in Las Vegas, we also have something that I think a lot of people are familiar with called hosts. And maybe you could tell me the difference between in Las Vegas, what a concierge does versus what a host can do.
So, a host is 100% employed by the casino, right? So, casino operations versus hotel operations.
Oh, I see.
So, they actually assist a guest based on the level of their play, where a concierge helps any guest regardless of their level of play. All of our guests are our so-called VIPs, right? Has nothing to do with their play. Steve Wynn was the first to say it extremely well. And what he said was, we're a hotel first with a casino. We're not a casino with a hotel.
Mm.
There came in the concierge explosion, right? Before it was only the Desert Inn had a concierge. That was the very first desk on the strip. And then came Bellagio and the Paris and so forth, right? So because we were now catering to non-casino guests, right? Because the Bellagio was a hotel first, what happens when Lillian Goldman from Goldman Sachs comes and she's a VIP in every city in the world except for Las Vegas because she won't gamble and she's 89 years old,
Hmm.
right? Who does she go to? A casino
Interesting.
host won't touch her, but I had the privilege of working with her son-in-law and helping her and, doing a buyout at Michael Mina's Aqua, back in the day for her and her family and the nannies and the children, and they wanted chicken tenders at Aqua, right?
Yeah.
So, Michael Mina isn't going to make chicken tenders. It's not in his menu, but if certainly we're going to accommodate that with a complete buyout. So those things that you can't anticipate, right? That's what we do. We make the magic happen.
So how did you get to
Oh,
that
how did I
point?
get to that? Yes.
Yeah. No, I'm
The
curious.
story. Oh my gosh, this is such a crazy story. Um, so back in the 90s, my first hotel experience was front desk at Treasure Island. And I there was a very famous restaurant at the time. It was called Port Tack. Port Tack. It was a seafood restaurant here on the east side. And I was there and there was a table next to me and I overheard them saying, what's a great restaurant? And I recommended the Port Tack. Well, that guest was there the night the president of the hotel was there and heard that they were a guest at Treasure Island and said, how did you know about this place?
Right.
And
So local spot. I mean, it was very
y-
famous. I'm
yeah.
old school
Oh,
Vegas,
so
so
you
I
know
know
it. Okay.
that spot right on Sahara.
Right.
So yeah.
Yes. So the guest said, oh, Tyra at the front desk recommended it. And I recommended it because that's where I would go. Well, I got pulled into the executive offices and said, accused me of getting a kickback. I didn't even know what a kickback was. I didn't know. I'm just being nice. It's my Southern hospitality, right? And so I literally almost lost my job because I was sending a guest off property instead of
right.
the Buccaneer Bay Club, which was there. So I was shocked. And then, I was able to prove that I was innocent. So long story short, that was owned by Steve Wynn. So when the Bellagio was opening up, we had the first right to every position, right? There was a beautiful color book with every position, titles, description of what it was. So I'm looking through this book, right? I didn't even know a concierge existed or what it was.
And you probably pronounced it wrong back then.
Absolutely, 100%. So I looked and it said, recommend restaurants, shows. And I said, oh, I almost got fired for that. Now I can get paid to do that. So it piqued my interest. So I was so fortunate to get selected to open the Bellagio Concierge. And a few months later, I was promoted to supervisor. And then less than 2 years later, I was offered the position of chef concierge, which translates into chief. Chef is French, at Venetian and Palazzo, and then spent a decade there, and then opened the Venetian and the Palazzo, of course. First, it was
you went to the rivals. You went to Wynn's rival.
I did. So it was just with the Adelsons. So I opened the Venetian, and then I opened the Venezia, and then I opened the Palazzo. And so at the time, I had the largest concierge staff in the world. I had 133 concierge at
Wow.
the only 5-star 5-diamond casino resort in the world.
Wow.
So that was an amazing experience. I also was the president of the Southern Nevada Hotel Concierge Association. And then in 2005, I became a member when I was still at Bellagio of L'Étoile d'Or, which is our international association of conciergedom, if you will. It's the keys on the lapel. So you can go anywhere worldwide, see the keys, and know that concierge has allies all over the world. So my guests,
oh my God, it's the secret society of concierge.
Yeah, so it's really great because I could have a VIP guest, at my resort, and I could call the chef concierge at the Four Seasons and say, oh my gosh, Lillian Goldman's coming. Can you please welcome her? Can you escort her?
She's got a lot of demands.
Yes.
Is she still with us? I don't know.
Probably not. This is Wayne.
Yeah, she'd be 107, but
yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
Hey y'all, it's executive producer Sonia Cho Swanson. And before I went on mat leave last fall, I sent my parents and my in-laws each an Aura digital picture frame. And let me tell you, they are obsessed. I don't put my baby on social media, but I do upload her pics to her grandparents' frames in the Aura app. It's pretty easy. Like the other day, I uploaded a video of my daughter seeing butterflies for the first time at the Springs Preserve. So cute. And the whole family gets to share that memory forever. Sometimes my father-in-law will actually take a picture of his Aura frame and then text it to me when he sees a photo that he really loves. Aura has a great deal for Mother's Day. For a limited time, listeners can save on the perfect gift by visiting auraframes.com to get $35 off plus free shipping on their best-selling Carver mat frame. That's auraframes.com, promo code CityCast. Support the show by mentioning us at checkout. Terms and conditions apply.
I'm Cindy Lauper with fellow Cosentix advocate, Chef Michelle Bernstein.
We'll share our experiences with plaque psoriasis, with psoriatic arthritis, and Dr. Panico will talk about the possible connection.
Cosentix secukinumab is prescribed for adults with moderate to severe plaque psoriasis 300 milligram dose and adults with active psoriatic arthritis 150 milligram dose. Don't use if you're allergic to Cosentix. Before starting, get checked for tuberculosis. An increased risk of infections and lowered ability to fight them may occur, like tuberculosis or other serious bacterial, fungal, or viral infections. Some are fatal. Tell your doctor if you have an infection or symptoms like fevers, sweats, chills, muscle aches, or cough, had a vaccine or plan to, or if inflammatory bowel disease symptoms develop or worsen. Serious allergic reactions and severe eczema-like skin reactions may occur.
Learn more at 1-844-COSENTIX or Cosentix.com/Cindy.
Las Vegas design lovers, this one's for you. On Saturday, May 10th, the Neon Museum is hosting a very special authors talk with Vegas legend Roger Thomas. He's a 5-time Architectural Digest AD 100 honoree and a member of the Interior Design Hall of Fame. But more importantly, Roger helped redefine the Vegas aesthetic, partnering with Steve and Elaine Wynn to transform those old dark maze-like casinos into luxurious spaces bursting with elegance, antiques, and drama. In this exclusive event, moderated by the Neon Museum's executive director, Aaron Berger, Roger is going to be discussing his stunning new book, Resort Style, Spaces of Celebration. It's a visual journey through the spaces that made Las Vegas iconic. Every attendee gets a free copy of the book and access to a book signing immediately following the program. So don't miss out on your chance to meet one of the most influential designers in Las Vegas history. Reserve your spot at neonmuseum.org. That's neonmuseum.org. Hey, I want to jump in right now with a shout out from one of our newest CityCast Las Vegas members, because that's one of the perks of becoming a CityCast Las Vegas neighbor. So like Carrie S., who says, 3 cheers for the best dang music club in Vegas since 1987, the Las Vegas Blues Society. You too can get a shout out for your favorite nonprofit or for-profit organization if you become a CityCast Las Vegas neighbor today. So head on over to membership.citycast.fm. I am dying to know who you want to shout out, and I am looking forward to doing that for you. So right now, go on over to membership.citycast.fm and become our neighbor. You mentioned the creed of the professional concierge, which is,
Yes.
as long as it's legal, kind, and moral, we're okay. So I got to ask you, have there been guests who have, let's say, had some out there requests beyond the obvious that you have either gotten or heard of that maybe push the envelope of your creed?
Sure, all the time.
Or maybe like rip open the envelope and like throw it into a weird garbagey space?
Yes. I mean, you have to understand people in Las Vegas when they're on vacation, they're not their typical selves. They feel like almost like they're on stage, or they feel like I don't know, it's like their alter ego comes out. I always joke with my team that they leave their brain on the curb sometimes before they walk in the door.
Maybe even in the gutter next to the curb.
100%. So I think people, because they felt they would be anonymous, right? You wouldn't see them again. So they would push the envelope and ask for things that, whether it would be, I don't know.
Like?
Let's see.
Dish. I want to hear some deets.
Okay. So people, I don't know why people think prostitution is legal in Las Vegas.
Mm-hmm.
That is one of the biggest myths, right? They don't understand. So,
do you send them to Pahrump, or do you just say, "I'm sorry, sir"? I'm assuming, sir. I mean, right. I didn't want to be gender specific.
We would glance over to the bell desk. No.
Oh my.
Just kidding. No, we would just say, regretfully, we're not affiliated, nor are we able to make a recommendation. We wouldn't judge and we wouldn't belittle.
Right.
So
and I'm sure drugs too,
right.
but beyond that, beyond
sure.
drugs and prostitution, what kind of weird requests were out there for concierge?
I had a rapper who, and I won't say who, asked for a big igloo be delivered, like for drinks to be delivered, fill it with whipped cream, and some other odd things. And my staff was just looking at me astonished, like, you're going to do this? And I said, listen, it's not about why, it's why not. If it's not illegal, right? Who am I to judge?
And a giant igloo cooler full of whipped cream is perfectly legal as we speak. I mean, the legislature's in session now. I don't know, but yeah. Okay.
So yeah, we would focus on
All right. Now my mind is racing. Who might be let's hope it's not someone who's been in the media for
it is
slippery
not.
Substances. Okay, good.
It is not.
All right. Any other good, weird requests?
Oh my gosh. Weird requests. There's just so many. I've a lot of requests for little people.
Oh, they would like a little person to show up? knock on their door
They
and say hello?
either, a chauffeur. They'd ask for little people to be chauffeurs, to be private dancers. We got a lot of requests for that.
Huh.
We, I've even had, can we get entertainers? Are you available? And you just have to not be insulted and say,
Oh, they'd ask the concierge to maybe a little private
sure.
concierging up in the
Yes,
room.
they would,
Mhm.
if there was an attractive concierge, and they would joke and they would flirt, or they would say, "Oh, I need this concierge to deliver this to my room," and try to pull you in. So we're pretty accustomed to everything.
Now I'm wondering, I'm also picturing like some very rich person getting some odd things for their pets or for their kids while they're here.
Oh yes, we've shut down Fred Layton for private, jewelry consultation, asking Fred to fly in from New York. Or we've had a jeweler go to someone's room. We've had a gentleman need a personal shopper, bring 10 dresses to his significant other. It's all relatively common, to be quite honest.
Yeah, it sounds like as long as it fits within your creed, pretty much anything
Yes.
goes. Interesting.
Absolutely. It's fun. You never know what you're going to get. I love it. I love it. I love it.
Well, I love all this history because now I'm going to push back on you a little bit, Tyra,
Sure.
because, digital, and this is like the lead of why we're talking about this now, what's happening at MGM, and that digital tech is really, really hot. And I think
Sure.
MGM probably isn't lying per se when they say that there's a demand for it. I mean, they told
Course.
Channel 8 that their digital concierge service fields 70,000 calls monthly, and apparently it's fairly good rated. So a lot of people today also don't like talking to people. So, shout out to my introverts. I mean, if there's a demand out there and arguably it's more cost effective, is it maybe time to deprioritize the old school concierge model?
Yeah, I think there's a hybrid solution, because I don't think it's for us to decide how the guest chooses to interact with the concierge,
Hmm.
right? Some people may want to text, some people may want to call, some people may prefer an in person. So I think as long as we still allow everything and not just assume everybody only wants technology and take that for granted, right? So I think that technology is amazing. I think what it's done for concierge in terms of streamlining, making us more efficient, maybe streamlining some calls that don't necessarily need to go to the concierge, that could be answered via an operator. Or sometimes
Hmm.
people think, we hold luggage or we check people in, which we don't. So maybe diverting those requests more appropriately absolutely can enhance the experience of the concierge and can get people who really need the concierge to us quicker. And because oftentimes they'll just press the concierge button. So I get that and I acknowledge that and I embrace that. But I think it's arrogant of us to decide or to assume that from now on, people only want to interact with what a concierge can provide via technology. I think it's
Mm.
a little out of touch.
Well, what can a person specifically do that an AI can't? I mean, AI can like figure out people's algorithms and maybe suggest things that they didn't even know they wanted, or they can also sort of tally things in ways that humans can't. So what can a person do that AI can't?
Well, I think there's so many variables and the guest experience and expectations and desires, right? So, I mean, if the guests were running up to me and saying, "I just left my notebook in a taxi cab,"
Hmm.
right? And you know, can you imagine having to figure out how to get in touch with somebody to help you as opposed to just walking up and saying, "This is an emergency and this is what I need"?
Yeah, there's no press 8 for retrieve your notebook from a taxi. I get that.
Right. Or, I just cut my finger, or guess what? My Uber was late and now we've missed our dinner reservation. And what I mean, there's so many variables in life. Life is so unexpected. How can AI possibly anticipate every single obstacle? You get rear-ended and you're on your way to a show, or maybe you were at the Grand Canyon and you got sick or you got delayed and now you've got front row to the Rolling Stones and there I don't understand. I don't see how it can replace those type of scenarios
Mm.
with variables that we don't even know exist right now, because every person is different.
And it sounds like it's very dependent on relationships that are built too.
Sure.
You may know someone at the Allegiant Stadium per se,
Right.
if the Stones were playing, and maybe get something. Is that, I mean, are those relationships, that piece, ever able to be maybe digitalized or robotized?
Absolutely not. I mean, somebody comes up to me and it's the anniversary and they want to do a surprise proposal, and I don't know, they in an hour, and they need this table at this restaurant. We can pick up the phone and make that happen. How is AI going to do that? How are they going to qualify you? Everybody's the same.
So, what do you think will happen with MGM over the next 6 months to a year with no concierge service?
I think eventually there will be a hybrid solution and the concierge will come back.
Mm.
There was another major casino group who tried this 10 years ago, right? And they brought on a ticketing service to replace the concierge. And they realized after months that they were losing money because allegedly this company was making recommendations based on how they can personally benefit with commissions. So all of their guests were being sent off property. And we all know that if you send a guest off property first, typically casino dollars will follow, right?
Yeah. And
So
so that was a
that's
rumor for why that
right.
particular company. Interesting. Which is
Exactly.
kind of interesting because, you started your career as a concierge sending somebody away, but you didn't do it for any type of personal
Never,
reward, right? So that would
never.
be a complication
Yes.
if that actually happened. I would imagine that would be very, very problematic. So you think MGM is going to bring back some of those folks? Because I hate to see people getting fired. I'm very empathetic for that, especially in our community. But I'm also pragmatic that MGM knows what they're doing, I would hope.
No, I do too. And to be honest, I have heard that they're not just firing these concierge, they are offering them other positions within the company,
Hmm.
which, makes me so happy. But I see this group of talented, compassionate, empathetic. I mean, these people, once you're a concierge, there's nothing you can't do. We can problem solve on a moment's notice, and very resourceful.
Tyra, I want to thank you so much for coming on CityCast Las Vegas and sharing your experiences.
Well, thank you for having me. It's been such a pleasure, David.
Oh, I'm so excited to now thank some of you who have already become CityCast Las Vegas neighbors during this most recent campaign, which ends today. We cannot thank you enough. So, huge shout out and thanks to Bradley C., Carrie V.M., Matthew L., Elijah F., Cheryl F., Ryan S., Margaret H., Melissa M., Tara P., Regina S., Justin M., Rachel D., Bridget T., Kimberly H. I feel like the luckiest school teacher in the world. Amber R., Melanie S., Nicole J., Mallory C., Shaman M., Jacqueline J., Nan M., and Kara W.G. I know more of you are rolling in, and I cannot wait to shout out your name too. And if you too would like to join this amazing group of members, our neighbors, maybe even see them at an upcoming event, head on over to citycast.membership.fm to join our party. Remember, today's your last day to get that mug and show off your Vegas Insider cred. Go on right now to citycast.membership.fm. Thank you. That's all for today here on CityCast Las Vegas. If you enjoyed the show, go tell a friend. You could rate the show, leave us a review, and subscribe to our morning newsletter. That newsletter is like a private concierge service for you, so make sure to check that out. We'll be back tomorrow morning with more news from around the city. Till then, stay lucky.